Alrighty, welcome to Jack and the Bean Talk, name courtesy of Chase Howell. I'm Eric Bean, and today I am joined by Jack Carlough. How's it going today, Jack?
Pretty good. Excited to get going. Getting closer and closer to sports. A little more news coming our way, so yeah, excited to discuss.
Yeah, MLB season starting up this Thursday. Obviously, with the World Series champion Washington Nationals, they're gonna have Max Scherzer on the mound against Garrett Cole and the Yankees, who the Yankees are looking like they may be the favorites in this whole thing, but we'll see. What are kind of your thoughts on that pitching matchup Thursday to start off the season and just kind of the season as a whole?
Yeah, that's gonna be awesome. Looking forward to that. This probably should have been the World Series matchup last year, I guess, but not quite. Yeah, I'm excited for that. Just watching some of the, I guess, summer camp games past couple days. No, MLB Network had like the Pirates and Indians on. That was kind of cool. Don't like the fake crowd noise. It felt kind of weird, but I'll probably get used to it. The Rockies start tomorrow in Texas for an exhibition game. They'll play Wednesday too. Yeah, I'm excited. Then we got Marquez on the Hill Friday for our first real game.
Yeah, how do you think? How do you see this opening series going when the Rockies have to play Lance Lynn, Mike Minor, guys that have been big league pitchers for quite a while? How do you see the series with the Rangers kind of going?
Well, yeah, and Corey Kluber too. He's
Yeah,
their Sunday starter.
yeah,
I was probably most afraid of him. So Rockies have seen Mike Minor when he was with like the Dodgers and the Braves a little bit too. So I'm a little more confident in that game. I bet we'll take one of three. I bet we'll either win that Friday or Saturday game. I guess I'm less optimistic against Kluber, and Freeland is still kind of a question mark for me in that Sunday matchup.
yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I think we could take two of three, but it's just interesting to think about who exactly we have to play this year. In L West, we have to play the Diamondbacks, Padres, and Giants, which I think we could be on even footing with. Um, Obviously, the Dodgers are a step ahead of everyone in the division. And then the AL West, you have the Astros, who obviously pose a threat, even though we'll see how good they actually are this shortened season. And then we have the Angels with Anthony Rendon, healthy Shohei Ohtani. Interesting to see how they'll end up doing. Mike Trout, obviously. Oakland A's have been in playoff contention a lot recently. And then Mariners and Rangers, probably less of a threat, but
Mhm.
what do you think of our opponents?
They're probably the second best division in the American League. Um, yeah, the Mariners still don't scare me yet. The Rangers, I think, will definitely be improved from last year because they picked up, yeah, I guess Kluber, and they also got, what was that, third baseman, Todd Frazier, too, which, yeah, we hit or miss, but I think they'll be better than they were last year. But, yeah, I mean, there's still Angels, Astros, and A's are three playoff level teams, which is pretty scary. And the NL West right now really probably only has the Dodgers. So, I mean, hopefully some of those teams can be down on the Dodgers too, and maybe the Rockies can have a chance. But I think we're, as always, we're praying for a wild card spot.
Yeah. So, what are your thoughts on Matt Kemp possibly playing the majority of the season now in the outfield or being the DH?
Yeah, I think with the DH, I think I'm cool with it. He's probably going to be like probably a mid 200s hitter. I think he's still got some pop. He'll probably platoon a bit with Tapia. So we also have Desmond opting out of the season. So I think he'll get some playing time. I'm sure he'll start Saturday against Mike Minor. I'm betting that's his first appearance. We'll probably start Tapia against Lynn. I think it's another power bat in the middle of the Rockies lineup. Looks like they've been hitting them like in that cleanup spot at least a few of these, I guess, inter-squad games. I don't think he'll be a liability.
Who is the biggest liability in the Rockies lineup, you think?
Just offensive, like just hitting wise.
Yeah, hitting wise.
Just hitting. Maybe if Hampson gets a decent amount of playing time, probably him. He's probably our weakest hitter right now. I know Walters took a big step forward last year. Rocky still, of course, as always, have one of the better lineups in the NL. And I'm sure we'll go Murphy first base, McMahon second base, but I think we're still pretty solid all around. I know Tapia's been looking better. He had a good spring training, so I don't think he'll be. Last year I probably would have said Tapia, but I think he'll be better this year.
Tapia said he's going to win MVP. Did you see that?
Yeah. I don't know about that, but it's good to have high goals, I think.
Yeah.
But probably Hampson, if he's probably not going to start every day, but with 9 guys in the lineup, I'm sure he'll get at least some playing time.
Yeah. Yeah, and obviously the NL's going without the pitcher hitting at all. So kind of what are your thoughts on that? And do you think pitchers that are known for hitting like Bumgarner now with the Diamondbacks, do you think they may ever choose to put a pitcher in that DH spot?
Probably not. Any hitter is probably going to be better than any pitcher. I've always been against the DH. I like the bunting small ball game, so I don't like that very much. I know there's been talks of pitcher burnout because their AL pitchers tend to pitch a little bit longer into games. I'm reading a Bill James book actually on that, which I think he talks about how it's not proven to actually hurt pitchers' ERA, but I think it'll still be a bit of an adjustment for some of the Rockies' younger starters. But I think the Rockies have always had kind of an AL team, kind of atmosphere with, power hitters. So I think it could probably help the Rockies a bit at least.
So, just in the course of a 60-game season, just like this Rockies team feels like they're gonna still be as streaky as ever. They're gonna have. I just have a feeling they're gonna have a hot streak at some point. And also, there's always the possibility for the team to go cold at any point, especially when you have these back-to-back road series out on the West Coast late at night. It just worries me a little bit, but there's also just kind of thinking ahead. You still have these back-to-back series at Coors Field, and then you can go on the road and possibly build on it, and it's just going to be really fun to see what happens with this team if they can just get on that hot streak that the Rockies have been known to go on at points during the season.
Yeah. I know we only have 1 day off in August, which is kind of scary. And I know, because the Rockies are kind of, I think we had one of the higher miles traveled not projections, but that's what because we're kind of isolated, only team in the Mountain Time Zone. So I think that'll probably hurt us with, no off days and going back and forth from altitude to sea level. That's not going to be good for us at all, I think. But still optimistic.
Yeah, and it's interesting because we've been training at altitude, but we have to go on the road for our first 5 games, so
Arizona's pretty high too.
So I think that may have a positive effect, at least in our first few at least early on in the season. We'll see if it's able to go through the full 60-game season, obviously. But yeah, so who's your World Series pick?
Probably it's probably gonna be Dodgers Yankees, and then I'll take the Dodgers, I guess. I think with Mookie Betts and if they stay healthy with Kershaw, Bueller, I think they got to get over the hump eventually. I think you should just give it to them. Let's just get it over with. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I had an easier time giving it to the Yankees this year than the Dodgers for some reason, but I just don't want to. I don't want to see that series, and I'll have an article going up in a few days where I actually have the Yankees against the Cardinals in the World Series.
Really?
So just kind of a preview of that. Yeah, I think St. Louis has a good young pitching core led by Jack Flaherty. He's their opening day starter, if I'm not mistaken. So obviously got swept by the Nationals. But I could see them possibly as... I just didn't want to make it Dodgers-Yankees. I think a lot of people will be drawing that conclusion, which is completely understandable, but just for people that aren't fans of either of those teams, it's not exactly the thing you want to be selling, I guess.
Yeah.
So
it's weird. This is like the first year I can remember where like the defending World Series champion Nationals like aren't favorites again. Like everyone's just writing that off as a fluke. Like no one's picking them at all to like repeat, which rarely happens, but they'll still be in the mix, of course.
I think they will be too, and just with like Rendon leaving, it just feels like Juan Soto was just ready to take off.
Yeah, they did get hurt by that Rendon's departure as well, but they'll still be at least a wild card team, I think.
Yep. Yeah, they're in that division though with the Braves and the Phillies. Phillies improved their pitching too. They got Zach Wheeler. The Braves had quite a few people opt out, didn't they?
Oh, I know Freeman had Corona, so I'm not sure when he will be back. Can't think of any other players that opted out from them.
Uh-oh.
They're still a pretty good team.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be exciting season.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, obviously going to be a very exciting sprint of an MLB season rather than a marathon this time around. So, the Pac-12 is also going to, their football season is going to be more of a sprint type thing. Obviously not only 3 games getting cut off for each team. We'll see how many in-conference games end up getting added. But one of the things that has been criticized about this decision is that a lot of schools were playing other teams that were close in proximity to them, and they had to cancel these games. And the argument that people have been making is like, oh, apparently COVID knows when people don't play conference games or whatever. But it's just the conferences, I think, trying to be on the safe side, which I think is an important thing to do, obviously. But I just go back to the point that the players won't be quarantined or in a bubble necessarily. Because they have to go to classes, they have to interact with the community. It's just I just don't see how there's a way around it at this point. But
yeah, I kind of disagree with that argument. I think it's smart what the Pac-12 is doing. Like if the Buffs play the Rams, and that's just the Pac-12 infecting the entire Mountain West. It's 2 different things. Doesn't matter like how close they are. And even if Fort Collins and Boulder are like two completely different cities, really, I mean, and then you have to make, and then like, all the other California, Arizona schools, they're going to make an argument to play, they're nearby, I don't know, like Utah, BYU, people would want to make that. But, yeah, because that just opens up, entirely different conferences, mingling. I don't know. That argument doesn't make as much sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Pac-12 did what they needed to. I
don't think it's no.
I don't think they had enough. I don't think they could have. It's just gonna be really tough to see other conferences. Like the SEC hasn't made a formal announcement yet, but are you really gonna play a D2 school like the SEC always does? But are you really gonna risk doing that? Are you gonna risk? Yeah. So
gotta keep it in a bubble as much as possible.
Yeah.
I don't. Well, they just announced today that California high school football was canceled this fall.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't see how college football would be okay then. But I don't know. I'm more pessimistic. I think it's just any day now where we see a delay.
The big issue I have is that I think that like pro sports leagues, they should be able to go ahead because yeah, and I agree that pro's different than college. I think the issue you have is that you don't pay the players in college, and that's basically it. It's an issue of whether people are paid or not. And some could argue that the athletes are performing a service to the university, which would be a job. But they are students. They do go to school. And then like people are like, well, people go to high school and they play sports for their high school. They go to junior high school, play sports for them. So it's like we could go on a whole tangent about this, but I think the Pac-12 made the decision they needed to. I think that as far as the Buffs are concerned, it could pose problems for them just because now, if the schedule stays the same, you're opening against Oregon, the favorites in the conference, with a freshman quarterback possibly, or Tyler Lytle, who's never started a college football game. It's just makes you cringe a little bit, I guess.
Not gonna happen. But we'll see. I still have my hopes up. I want Brendan Wright. I want to see him play. It was going to be another, probably sub 500 year for the Buffs anyway. So maybe it'll give us a chance just to, develop a little bit more, and then let some of those more veteran California teams just kind of, ride it out. But there's so many tangibles, really.
Yeah.
But if it does happen,
I think the Buffs are more talented. Like last year they were talented. They've been talented, I'd say, probably since like 2015. It's the quality of the team has gone up, even though the results haven't necessarily been there, especially from like 2012, the worst season ever, where we were 1-11. You just see this team like later on in the season. Last year they got more competitive, especially in home games. I think if you take the Oregon game out of that equation, I expect us to be competitive at least in all home games against Pac-12 competition. We beat Arizona State last year, and everyone likes their quarterback, myself included. I think he's really good. I think he's gonna be NFL quarterback. But Yeah, it's like against any other team in the conference, I think at least in the home games we should be competitive with them. And we proved that last year, so.
Yeah, yeah, we always have a home field advantage for sure. Really, yeah, it's only like we lost to like Air Force at home, and then what was the other loss?
Arizona, USC. We should have
Yeah.
beat Air Force in Arizona.
Arizona, that was that last minute, like, was it like a field goal?
No, that was what game was that? Yeah, that wasn't Arizona. We lost like 35-30.
Okay.
Yeah, and then like Montez had like a really bad throw on 4th down.
Okay.
Yeah, so then the
We still close.
What was that?
We still keep our home games close.
Oh yeah, for sure. It just sucks because they have a new Ralphie, and then fans probably won't even be able to be at these games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let's give Ralphie another year to develop as well.
I guess. Yeah. 2021. Look out, America. The Buffs are gonna be good in 2021. We'll make a bowl game. I will say this: we will make a bowl game in the fall 2021 season.
All right. There's the bold prediction of the day.
We have to at least make one during our time as students at CU, Jack.
Yeah, that's probably our best. I would have said our freshman year, or 2021 are probably our best bets. If we didn't choke at the end of 2018. But yeah, we'll see.
So, anyway, yeah. So, I mean, I'm still looking forward to college football season. I mean, it's just, I don't know, it's just, like, you still think the national championship's between 3 teams, though. If you're not a fan of those 3 teams, you probably aren't like, too invested in all the college football playoff stuff, but, you know, so.
Bucks are still a few years away from that.
Yeah, we're probably still, I don't know if we'll ever get there, but we'll try. So,
yes.
Yeah. But yeah, so another sport that's gonna be starting up at the end of the month is the NBA. Another league that's gonna be starting up is the NBA. The Nuggets have their first game against the Miami Heat August 1st. We've talked about kind of how we feel about the team. Jokic finally showed up in that red long sleeve Nugget shirt that I can't find anywhere online. But anyway, they showed some highlights. They're like, oh, he looks like he's the Jokic from like 2016 losing all this weight. It's just going to be really interesting to see if we unleash Bull. Since Jokic has lost all this weight, just unleash Bull.
Bull's got to put on some weight first.
Oh, yeah? I don't know. Yeah. Someone I know really wants us to unleash Bull, and the more I think about it, having him and Jokic on the floor at the same time could be really advantageous for us, so...
I would probably wait till next year to debut him, though. I don't want him, debuting in, like playoff crunch time. Maybe if we have like some blowout game, I'm okay with putting him in for a few minutes. But I'm also cool if he just starts next year and can put a little bit more weight on in the winter.
How do you think Nuggets fans will react if we still only have MPJ in there 20 minutes a game? Do you think like everyone's gonna just start being like, oh my goodness, Michael Malone, he's still doing it or whatever? And I think that a lot of Nuggets fans were frustrated with that before the pause in the NBA, so it'll be interesting to... What was that?
I think he's deserved a few extra minutes.
Yeah, I think he does too, and it'll be interesting to see because he I don't know, on defense he struggles, but on offense he's a threat on offense, so
you just have to find the right matchups for him, I think. and yeah, he's still young, and I think some of this playoff time could actually be valuable for him, maybe opposed to Bobo, because MPJ has already, seen some game action. And I think it'll be easier, probably even for Bobo too, like with no fans in the stands. That's probably a little bit easier. It'll just be like a intense scrimmage, I guess, to them. Yeah, I'd like to see MPJ maybe get up to like 25-ish minutes. I think that's probably safe.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it depends on, who his matchup is. Like, I know the Heat's probably going to be a tough matchup. But, yeah, I'd like to see him develop a little bit more and get some more playing time.
Do you think it's better or worse that we have to wait a few games to play the Lakers and the Clippers down the road before the regular season officially ends?
I think that's probably better.
Better that we don't have to open with them?
Yeah. I mean, they're going through the same thing, too, of, like, easing into the season. But, I don't know. And then, if we play them right before the playoffs, I think that's going to help us too, because playing those dominant teams is probably going to help. You never want to play the Padres the last series of the season, or any other last place kind of team. Yeah. So I think that'll help us. But yeah, they do have a tough schedule. So really, all of these games are playoff level games, anyways. So it'll make too big of a difference.
Yeah, the Clippers and Lakers open up opening night, and then the Jazz-Pelicans game was getting hyped up, but I guess today was the day Zion had to show back up to Orlando to be able to play in that game due to the 10-day quarantine. I haven't heard anything on if he's back or not, but obviously hoping that whatever situation he's in has a happy ending regardless. I don't know. I don't think anyone really knows what's going on, but hopefully it's going to end positively for him and his family. But
yeah, that was the whole reason the NBA pretty much expanded, or is having season 2, just for Zion.
Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully he's doing good.
Yeah.
But do the Nuggets? Don't they have I think they have an exhibition game Wednesday too. Is that correct?
Yeah. Well, I don't know the exact dates. I know we play New Orleans, Orlando, and I want to say Washington in them. So
I'm guessing those won't be televised. No?
Yeah, I'm sure NBA TV or someone will televise some games, but I don't know what Altitude's doing as far as that, and yeah, I just know our first game's on ESPN, so against the Heat on August 1st, so that's good.
Saturday at 11 a.m.
Yeah, August 1st at 11 a.m. Yep. Another thing that I'm excited for is the NFL season, but the players are saying that right now the safety guarantee just isn't there as far as them feeling safe about being in the facility, playing games. And yesterday a lot of NFL players went on to social media, Twitter, and voiced their concern. J.J. Watt's been voicing his concern a lot with it, and all of them want to play. So I think it's just the players kind of trying to get the public behind them because they may have to have some more negotiations with the NFL about safety guarantees that they want, like daily testing, which I think will end up happening. There's just too much at stake. Some people are like, well, the NFL season is a done deal, and they're right, but I think at the end of the day it will be a done deal. But obviously I think it's good that players are making their pleas public. Just kinda, it gives people something to talk about, obviously, but just makes the public more aware of kind of the ins and outs of the business,
Mm. The NFL is definitely the most, I guess, health dangerous sport to bring back. So like the physicality of the game, and then the large size of the rosters. It's not like NBA where you only have 15 guys tops probably, and then or baseball where you're not really interacting that much with the other team.
Yeah.
So that's at least their season comes last. That's the good news. At least training camp is, you don't need to interact with other teams for that to happen. But there's still just so many players involved. And, the rosters are expanded for training camp, which is, it's like 4 baseball MLB teams practicing at once, or 7 NBA teams all practicing together. So, I think the season will happen, but I don't know. There's some concern though.
I'm a little concerned about the quality of the games those first few weeks, since the preseason's probably gonna get done away with. But I think fans will not really notice that as much.
They've got to have some game before the real deal. I'm sure that they. You think they would just do inter squad?
I think that's what's gonna happen. The players want longer acclimation periods, so they don't want preseason games. So.
Interesting. Yeah. But if that does happen, the first couple of games will be low quality for both teams though, so there probably won't be a huge competitive disadvantage at least.
Yeah, just I don't know, it makes me feel better about playing a home game against Tampa Bay early on. We go on the road to Pittsburgh. I think that's just a tough place to play. I mean, the Broncos have had their success against the Steelers, though. But they could say... What was that?
Different with no fans.
Yeah, I still think home field advantages there more just based off of familiarity.
There will be an advantage, but not as big as usual.
Yeah. So...
we'll see, though. Glad. Tampa Bay's coming to Denver, so because I know Florida's been a big hot spot. I'm glad we don't have to go there at least, but I mean, looking forward to the season.
Yeah.
And hopefully, season.
Yep.
Great. Is there any final words?
Just that, Robert Lewandowski should have won the Ballon d'Or, but, they canceled the award because they're like, oh, the integrity of the soccer season was ruined. So, but obviously I'm rooting for Bayern Munich to win the Champions League when it starts back up, August 7th. Bayern Munich plays Chelsea on August 8th, and then obviously the Avs starting up against St. Louis, St. Louis, Dallas, and Vegas on August 2nd. Can't wait for that. So that's kind of my closing words and a little bit of a mini rant about canceling an award. Really?
Yeah. Yes. You're definitely the soccer expert among us, but yes, I'll have to read more into that. But from what you said, I probably don't agree with it either. Usually we have somewhat similar views. I'm really excited for this weekend though. I hope everyone stays healthy and these leagues make good decisions going forward.
Yep. All they have to do is, I don't know, there's a lot they have to do, but just staying vigilant. I don't know if we should get too political on this show, but I think wear a mask when you're inside the grocery store would be a good start, but that's just me. So,
yes.
But anyway.
Everyone in Colorado now, at least.
Yeah.
At least up here in Longmont, with the mandate.
Yeah. So
face mask for all sports.
Yep, I agree. Face masks for fall sports. Alright, well, this has been Jack and the Bean Talk for Monday. We recorded this Monday, July 20th of 2020. The the 51st anniversary of the moon landing. So hope everyone has a great day, and thanks for listening.